I do wonder what we're going to talk about today, gentlemen. And Adrian, you're here. We're just going to go straight into it. Let's go with this intro video because we do have some things to talk about. Hold on, boys.
You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Che sì, ed è gol!
Teo Hernandez al volo! Teo Hernandez, ancora lui, una meraviglia! Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic, fuori classe assoluto!
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to another Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan and some Azzurri this week. Taga on Netflix, Steve, but we're not professional.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Vinny P, Stevie P, and welcoming first time here on the Milan Weekly Podcast, Adrian from Rabona TV. Welcome. He's not our first non-Milanista, Steve, but great to have you on here. And I just wanted you to take the time. Explain, Steve. I believe he's got a couple of more subscribers on YouTube than with 1,500, the way I calculate stuff. But yes, please take the time, put yourself over your YouTube channel, what you do, and put yourself over.
Yeah, so my name is Adrian Souza. I am not Italian nor a Milanisti, neither of those. I am Portuguese Canadian. I support Benfica, and I do have a YouTube channel called Rabona TV that I do all sorts of football content, explainer videos, current events, more historic videos, all kinds of stuff. It's all over the place. It doesn't really have any focus, but that's okay. That's how I like it. That's how I kind of enjoy it. I just sort of do topics that I'm interested in, whether it be, not bound by any sort of country or club or anything like that. And yeah, I've had some fun. I've had some fun with it. And I'm excited to be here. It's been a long time coming. I think that we've been sort of discussing this for a while now.
Yes.
Do we want to tell the people why you chose me to come on at this time and it didn't quite work out, but we did it anyway?
Maybe that is an explanation why we lost, because we were supposed to get together and maybe we did like Italy, right? We were already playing Portugal, right? And this was supposed to be for this kind of podcast. But hey, we still have some things to talk about. But Steve, I know that you told me about his YouTube channel. We have seen it. It's pretty cool, from Montreal, and congratulations on your success and a couple of videos. I like what you do, and keep up the good work.
Really. Awesome, yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
thank you for having me on.
It's amazing work, Adrian. Like we always say here, we try to get people like yourself on, just to show what you guys do. Not Milan focused for us here. Of course, it is Milan focused, Serie A focused. But there's other leagues, again, like the Portuguese league, that I think doesn't get enough credit because it is a wealth of talent, and there is tons of teams that produce top-class talent. They can't stay there for long enough to build up that league to where it should be. So it's amazing to get you. And again, like you said, your videos, I am subscribed personally and with Milan Weekly Podcast. So we give you 2 subscriptions there. And I do catch your videos again when my kids are not, monopolizing all my electronics. I get to watch a little bit of your videos, and again, your content is really amazing because, like you said, it's all over the place. Like I'm not looking for a video that's gonna come from Rabona TV where it's gonna be, I'm looking for Portuguese information. No, I'm gonna get whatever's in your mind, and I like the craziness because I'm crazy too.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, that definitely, and thanks for coming on. And let's start off. We like to start off with some housekeeping stuff very quickly, guys. April 5th is the last date for the FIFA tournament for Fondazione Milan. You will have the link on the past video. I forgot to put it on this one here, but just click €25. It is going for effort for Ukraine. Fondazione Milan this year will be doing it for, how many years have it been now, Steve? 3 years. 3 years that we've been doing that. So Yeah, look, you got some nice comments, nice some compliments on there. We even have 3Ks asking you like, what's the scouting report say on Darwin Nunez? We're already starting. See, you got the popularity going. But yes, for the FIFA tournament, guys, April 5th. Please join, and we should have some good fun with that. And before we get to talk about Italy, guys, a little in bocca al lupo for Mihalovic. Sinisa came out the last week saying that I love the way he just, he goes con la malattia bastarda. It's gonna go. I'm gonna go head to head with once again, and we just wish him the best of recovery because it's the second time he's going through this. And un bocca al lupo, Sinisa Mihalovic, right, Steve?
Yeah. Again, terrible disease again, and he's gonna have to hit it head on again with his grinta and his mindset. I think he can get through this there, and hopefully he can continue to coach and do what he loves. But now is where we take soccer and football and we put it aside, and he needs to concentrate on himself and his family. I think he's a newly grandfather, so he has grandkids, and it's something that you get close to people like that because they are a character, they are fun, they are full of joy and full of life, and then they get hit with terrible disease like that, not once but twice. So I wish him the best of luck here from Montreal, and he does coach Joey Saputo's Bologna. So we'll send you a bocca al lupo and all our prayers.
On housekeeping, that's about it. Want to get straight into the World Cup.
Yeah. So look, guys, let's get it out of the way. We wanted Adrian here on purpose because we wanted to set up the matchup Portugal, Italy. Obviously, with Milan Weekly Podcast luck and our Azzurri having a little bit of a brain fart against Northern Macedonia, we're here talking to Adrian, but we're gonna talk about Portugal, but we're gonna talk about Italy in another way. So we'll set you up with that one.
How about Adrian? Let me ask you first, right? I'm going to pull up just the graphic of the last 3 games. What is the perspective? Let's say perception from, let's say, an outside, not an Italian or not like follow Serie A as much. People have laughed. That's fine. I think we deserve the laughing. But was it as a shock to the rest of the world the way it was to us Italians?
It was a shock, but I think if you look at Italy's whole qualifying campaign, they had difficulties in front of goal the whole time, didn't they? And I mean, when I look at these lineups, especially in the attack, it just strikes me as a bit stale at times. You take Chiesa out of that front 3, and you're looking at Insigne, who's been in poor, if I'm not mistaken, poor form all season long, basically with Napoli, for the most part at least. If Immobile has proven anything, it's that he's not an effective goal scorer for the Italian national team when they need him to be, even though he's a very effective goal scorer in Serie A. And it just, I want to see more opportunities given to people like Scamacca, etc. Now, was he injured for this match?
Yes,
okay, so there we go. I guess I can't blame Mancini too much for that, but yeah, when I look at this Italian attack, it just looks like it's the same people rolled out every single time. And if I don't know how deep you guys want to get into it, but when I look at the crop of youth that's coming through for Italy, and you guys can speak to this better than I could, is there anyone that you look to and you think, yes, like this guy, maybe beyond a Chiesa, Verratti is obviously world class, etc. But when you look at the new crop coming through, is there anyone you look to and you think, this is the guy that's going to be the next icon? This is the guy that's going to lead the next generation of Italians. Like who is that for you guys?
It's a good question.
We don't have.
Other than, let's say,
it's
maybe
a very simple answer. We don't have
potentially like a Tonali. Potentially,
no. We have right now. We have nobody.
Yeah, and I think that's something that when I look at Italy, it does feel. I think people make a huge like crisis out of it. Like Italy has a youth problem, and maybe they do, but it just seems like they're a little bit behind, or maybe they've rested on their laurels a little bit in comparison. Like look at Germany when they had that disaster in Euro 2000, I think it was. They reset everything from grassroots up to start developing their talent and really make sure that they're going to be, they're being proactive with everything. And can you say that Italy has been doing that? You look at Portugal, maybe. how they've really focused on developing youth because they have to, partially because the league just can't afford to, bring in top talents and keep top talents. So they have to build youth in order to be competitive. And now look at how Portugal is doing, at least in the attack. They could use a few more defenders, but at least as far as attacking talent, they're doing great. And I look at Italy and I don't know. It doesn't strike me as them being that same sort of proactive as far as wanting to integrate youth and really focus on developing homegrown talent as much as other nations that are sort of, I can't say pulling away, because obviously Italy won Euro 2020, right? So so it's, as much as we criticize them, they do.
And it's a good segue to that there, because it's something that I want to talk about. And for me, yes, it's devastating. I'm not going to see Italy in the World Cup again. 2 years in a row, 2 successful World Cups with not qualifying. You see these results on the screen, and you have time to digest after Northern Macedonia. My phone blows up because everybody calls me for answers, like as if I have the answers to these questions that they're going to ask me, and I don't. And my gut just told me, and I'm not going to say here and lie to everybody and say, I knew they were not going to qualify. But once they didn't take care of their own business, I felt like almost as if they were already eliminated psychologically. And the psychological factor is something that we cannot talk about. Only them in the room can talk about that. But you saw it with their body language. You saw it with the game against Northern Ireland. We're going to leave the Switzerland game out of it. Everybody misses a penalty shot. It happens. They could have sealed it there. They didn't. They had another chance against Northern Ireland, and they didn't take advantage of that. And then you end up in a one-game playoff, right? So people need to remember, whether you like it or not, yes, we're out of the World Cup. Call out Italy. But God forsake, don't fucking disrespect my Italy. Because that's all I've seen on Twitter is vergogna. I've seen it in the chat too. Vergogna in Italian means embarrassment. I get that, guys. I get that. We're four-time, guys, World Cup champions. 4 times. I got to see one. I was 1 year old. I'm not going to say that I saw it. We're 2-time Euro champions. I got to see one. Wasn't born in 69. There's not a lot of people out there, guys, who can say that they saw their team win a Euro and a World Cup. And this has to change, because that's the mentality. That's the Italian mentality. When you're up, hey, yeah, Chiesa's the best. Berardi's the best. Love Berardi. Love Immobile. Then once you're down, no one's good anymore. And that's the Italian mentality. And, you touched on it too. The league itself, unfortunately, they're not intelligent enough, because that's the thumbnail tonight was there's a bigger problem exposed. The bigger problem is Serie A, because they don't know how to market their league. They're light years away. And, you create your own content, you see, right? Yeah. You see what comes out of Serie A. It's terrible in terms of, the way they expose themselves away from Italy, North American English, in other languages. It's not done right. There's the root of the problem is the league and the federation.
I think, a lot of people talking about the blame game, and, I go back to these videos of the Serie B coach when we got eliminated to Sweden, and he was getting mad, and he's like, we're going to Sweden with fear, with scare. He goes, but us, we are Italy. And he started talking about the problems in the system. And, us being Milanistas, we have been embarrassed in the last 10 years, right? But we never shat on the team. I see where Steve is coming from. We all want to blame, Donnarumma with the goal. This guy didn't score. And Mancini, his selection. And this guy here didn't get the penalty shot. We didn't take care of business, as Steve said. And it's just unfortunate when we have to sit here and say that our generation will have to go through 12 years minimum before seeing our team in a World Cup. And the last time we won a knockout game in a World Cup was when we won the World Cup in 2006. So these are kind of statistics that they make you. I agree with the embarrassment that we are feeling, because we are, as Portuguese people, very proud, right? Like if we felt attacked, and now we feel we're not there. We were supposed to be like a powerhouse, and looking at these kind of games, and somebody even commented, I had a feeling that against Portugal, let's just say we would have scored this ugly game. I have a feeling against Portugal, we would have taken it to you guys, and not to bash Portugal or anything. I just feel that when Italy's has like some sort of like a big challenge in front of them, and I don't know if Mancini was playing already for Portugal. I don't know if Portugal obviously was probably preparing for Italy. And now, like, how are you guys feeling going against North Macedonia?
Going against North Macedonia, look, I mean, as much as you don't want to write them off, Portugal should be beating them. Like, yes, they did beat Germany. That was a very different Germany a year ago or whatever it was that they beat. Yes, they did manage to beat Italy, but they were largely sitting back, and it felt more like it was, again, credit to North Macedonia, of course, but it felt more like Italy's failings in front of goal more than Macedonia really. They're well organized defensively, but they didn't do much going forward. It wasn't like they outclassed you guys or anything like that. So I think that Portugal should be okay if they continue to play this attacking football that they did in the last game. But I agree with you what you were saying about how I think that you think that Italy would have rose to the occasion against Portugal, because Portugal I think typically sucks against Italy. I mean, I think we beat you once in the UEFA Nations League or something like that, but in the rest of history, I think that Italy has Portugal's number. And also, our back line was so brutal that I think that it would have been there for the taking right now, just because we have so many injuries and everything. So I think that basically going up against North Macedonia, if there's anything but a win, we're going to start hearing the vergogna in Portuguese as well, basically.
But Adrian, you know what to expect, right? This is a good thing that happened to Portugal, because I watched the Portugal game as well against Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they had control. And then once Turkey comes back and pulls one back early in the second half, you saw the demeanor of Portugal change a bit, and the game changed as well. Then when I saw Turkey get a PK, I was like, whoa, this is gonna make things very interesting. Obviously, he went on to miss that PK, and Portugal put it away. But Portugal now, what they can do is take a look and see at the Northern Macedonian. You know what? Again, all due respect to Northern Macedonia, but they parked the bus. That if it's not against Italy, if Northern Macedonia does that against England, guys, there's newspaper articles about how Northern Macedonia parked the bus and how that's not soccer. It's anti-calcio. The entertainment is not good. And what I've had to listen to, and again, I'm sorry, Adrian, I'm in a rant here because this is the blood pressure this whole week has been going on. I've been waiting for this week. Is that it's a double standard all the time when it comes to Italy. Italy is always known about boring football, and they always, defensive football, and someone cannot take and take the good out of Catenaccio, and it's always defensive. But when someone else does it to Italy, it's a magical win. Hey, we were playing on a calcetto field, which is a 7-on-7 field, because Italy's transition from defense to offense was basically one pass. Someone had to jog to the halfway line, and then we had to start playing in this really restricted field. And now I'm not making excuses. My point here is that, again, I don't care. They lost. I get it. Macedonia wins. It's the double standard. It's all the EPL professionals out there who have a coaching degree coming out and saying, oh, Italy, Macedonia, great performance. If that would have happened to England, I would love to know from you, Adrian, am I crazy to say that this would have been all over the news as how Macedonia has destroyed soccer?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, the English fans are just, they're their own thing. They're annoying. I mean, you guys will know that from the summer anyways, right? So I think it's sort of universally accepted that they're pretty annoying. Would people say that it was a masterclass against, were people saying it was a masterclass against Italy? I mean, they were giving credit to them, but were they saying that, that it was a tactical mastermind or something like that?
It was the miracle and this and that. Oh, okay. But it's the point is not the tactical masterclass. We know it was not a tactical masterclass.
No.
It was just,
we had no answer.
If Italy scores, there's no game after, right? They'll never be able to get back. And they might be able to get back. It's the anti-calcio thing, right? If someone else does it, it's okay. If Italy does it, they drag us through the mud.
Yeah, I mean Portugal as well. They have their own shit that they. I mean Portugal won a whole tournament being anti-calcio basically in Euro 2016, as you guys will remember.
And lost one to a team that did the exact same thing. Greece did that exactly to them.
Exactly.
Didn't Porto with Mourinho have that tactic too when they won the Champions League? A bit of the bit defensive, but in the end, it's a shame. It's heartbreaking. And I wanted to ask you guys this: did you find it to be a problem that out of Portugal, Turkey, and Italy, only one of those was going to make it to the World Cup? Did you have a problem with this new system that they put into place, or it's let's go with the times? How about you, Steve? Did you find a problem with that?
I have a humongous problem with it. I'm not shy to say it. I'm not embarrassed to tweet about it. I've said it before. I'm not saying this again. You know how it is on the internet. You have to repeat yourself before you make a statement. I am not saying this, ladies and gentlemen, because Italy got eliminated from the World Cup. Let's be very straightforward here. This is what I've always believed. There's 32 teams total in the World Cup. We used to have the Confederations Cup. We no longer have that. We have this stupid Nations League that is just other games for no reason. If you win a major tournament like the Euro, the AFCON, Copa America, Gold Cup, the Asian Football Federation, the Oceanic Football Federation, and the host, those teams, if you take those teams, they're 8 teams. That leaves you with 24 teams to qualify. Those teams should all get an automatic bid to the World Cup. Because the host, they got to be there. But every other team has won a major tournament in terms of either UEFA or FIFA to earn their place in the World Cup. That example, I wrote down just the people who won. You would have had Italy in this World Cup.
You're saying that the Euro champ should have got
the Euro champ needs to be there. The AFCON champ needs to be there. The Gold Cup, the Copa America champ, all those champions need to be there. Those 7 plus the host takes up 8 spots. There's 24 left. Battle it out, guys, because Italy, they played a whole summer. They beat England at Wembley. Yeah, EPL guys, we beat you at Wembley in your own park. You haven't tasted a trophy, EPL people. You haven't tasted, nothing came, not even a champagne, not even one drop came to you since 1966. Italy needs to be in the World Cup.
Hey, Adrian, how about you? Like that system that just one of these 3 teams, Italy, Turkey, Portugal, like only one was going to make it. Like
it's rough. I mean, it's rough. And I think that Portugal and Italy especially, I mean, I'm split on it because I agree with what Stevie's saying about how the Confederation winners from each different part, continent, you want to see those teams at the World Cup. And then having to sort of qualify and get there on merit on their own, depending on the Confederation, is going to be difficult. But I think all of them are sort of difficult. Like with Portugal and Italy, for example, I have some sympathy for them, but at the same time, Italy, can only blame themselves for not finishing top of that group. Portugal can only blame themselves for not finishing atop of their group and not being able to best Serbia. So I do feel for them there. But then as someone in the comments, sorry, I didn't see who, but someone was talking about how the African countries, it's insane how many of the top African countries don't get to make it. That's a really, really difficult qualifying cycle. So I think that it's not a perfect system. And they're going to keep tinkering with it, right? They're going to keep trying, we're going to try this Nations League thing. Now we're going to try this and that and that. It's not a perfect system. I did prefer the other one, though. I think it was a 2-legged playoff before, right? Yeah. You had the semi and then the final. Or was it just one playoff?
It was just one playoff.
It was just one, right?
You play there, you play at home, and you play there, and the winner of those 2 legs goes on.
I did like that.
And I agree with you that they're going to tinker with it. My problem is that they're going to tinker it to make more money, and that's going to be more games, and that's not what we want here. And that's what I'm trying to say. I see the chats, I see the messages. I don't want to click on them because you're not getting the people are not getting my point. I get you have to qualify for the World Cup, but you won you're the European champion. You qualified for the Euro because you were not champ before. you took the whole tournament, won that tournament, there should be a tangible prize for you. Not always money, guys. Not always money. And I'm telling you, Italy would have benefited greatly from not having to qualify.
So what do you say to
Selfishly, I'm looking at Italy. But let's say it's not Italy. You know, if you look at, let's say, Argentina, do you know how much that helps Argentina? Especially half their players play in Europe. Less travel. You could try new people in friendlies. You can have friendlies in Europe. It's like it helps that team. It's a tangible victory that's not money. It's rest.
Yeah, no, there's good arguments could be made on both sides, but I remember, if I'm not mistaken, 2010 was the last year that the World Cup winner was automatically qualified. I think that was us, if I'm not mistaken. It's at least 12 years it took out that ruling, but no, but I like the, because this could be a conversation, but in the end, Steve, you said it. Just like the Super League, just like this, it's all about money, and hopefully they do it in a certain way. They do it like, I love the stories of the Icelands that we've seen, in the World Cup, these Cinderella stories. But if you have to revamp it, just do it for the right reasons, not for money. How about the Portugal? How about you? What are you predicting? What are you seeing in the future? Do you have what it takes to get out of the group stages, make it to the World Cup first, and get out of the group stages?
So make it to the World Cup. That's objective number one. We don't want to be another victim of North Macedonia, which I think that Portugal will advance. I from the moments, and Steve, you watch the game, the moments where Portugal were attacking well, there's few national teams in the world that I think have that amount of talent. Like when we're bringing João Felix, Rafael Leão, Gonçalo Guedes, like all these kinds of guys off of the bench, it's crazy. And we should be playing attacking football, but it's just, will our manager allow us to do that? And Fernando Santos, as he proved at the Euro 2016, at 2018, 2020, he doesn't want to play attacking football. Hopefully that continues as it did against Turkey. Getting out of the group stage, I mean, hopefully the draw will be kind to Portugal in the World Cup if they make it. I think that, again, with this crop of talent that they have, and so long as there aren't crazy injuries to guys like Ruben Dias in defense, our defense is really the sore spot, isn't it? Because we're relying on Ruben Dias and then 100-year-old Pepe from Porto.
He's still playing. I freaked out when I saw him. Jesus.
Yes, exactly. And so that's the area that we're a little bit sore. But other than that, I think that Portugal is good enough to have a decent run, quarterfinals, maybe semis, something like that.
Well, you do need to talk about Steve. Stevie and this player have had a love-hate relationship. He's been wanting the best for this kid, especially last year. And this year seems to have, maybe not in the last couple of weeks, Steve, I think he formed up a little bit, but Rafael, wow, what improvement he's done this year. We've seen him, like his body language, the way he's playing, Steve used to freak out always with the smiling for no reason. He's given a lot of praise to Pioli for how he's been making him play. Have you guys seen the same thing in the national team? Because, if there is a player that has the potential of being world class, right? Yes, please. How do you pronounce? Because Steve, we say Leão, but how do you pronounce?
It's like there's a little ng at the end. Leão, sort of.
Leão.
There, yeah.
Yeah, I like it better like this. Leão.
Yeah, similar to that. But no, we haven't seen like any of him in the national team, really. It's one of those things where, Fernando Santos, like most international managers, they have their favorites, right? And they always pull them in, whether they're in good form or bad, some of them. So I think, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this is the first time in a long time that Rafael Leão was actually called up by Fernando Santos. And he's someone that, based on this season at least, we've been wanting to see him get a call up and get that opportunity because, as you said, he's been in pretty damn good form, unless Stevie thinks otherwise for Milan. No, you're good?
Like Vinny said, I was very tough on him at the beginning when he was at Milan, just because you saw that the talent was there.
Yeah, he was frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. You saw that, it was someone who wanted to break out, and he wanted to be use that trickery. And I'm one that I like that fantasista style. I like those trickery, but I appreciate the game too. I'm also someone who's more of an old school type of guy. Like, you need to make the right decisions in the final third, and he was not doing that. You know, it went away, and now it's coming back. Now, is that a concentration problem? That I don't know, but he deserved the call up to the Portuguese national team.
He did, because he's been playing fantastic. And I think I sympathize with him a little bit because he left Sporting at such a young age. He was super, super young, went to Lille. He only stayed at Lille for, I think, one season before Milan purchased him. So he's been bounced around at such a young, he's still only 22,
Yeah,
21,
22.
22. He's still a young kid, right? So he needs time to settle. He needs time to sort of, get his roots dug in a little bit. And now that he's had that, we are starting to see the benefits of it. And those moments where he frustrates you are a little bit less than the moments where he hopefully is wowing you, So
A lot
hopefully
more this year.
yeah, hopefully he'll continue along on this trajectory because he is one of those special players that's just so easy on the eye when he's in form.
Definitely, on the even history of Portuguese players, Milan, even recent. I don't know, the name that does come up most of the time right now is Renato Sanchez. I know Stevie follows the Calcio Mercato a lot more than me. Renato Sanchez, I remember, a lot of talk with him when he was at Bayern, if I'm not mistaken, and then at Lille. Supposedly, he's coming over, all depending of salary, obviously, because we got no money, Milan. But what can you tell us about, or am I pronouncing it probably very badly, about Renato Sanchez?
That was great. That's fine.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not a pronunciation guy. Like I don't really call people out on pronunciation. I don't care about it. But Renato is my boy from Benfica. He left us way too young, going to Bayern, I think. But in that 2016 season, when Portugal also won, he was integral to Portugal winning Euro 2016 as well. You really saw what he's all about. And I think he lost a little bit of that when he went to Bayern, and then he was sent to Swansea and just all over the place. But when he is in form, as he has been with Lille this season, fantastic on the ball, central midfielder, but he's one that likes to progress the ball forward through his dribbling. He's a very explosive player, very powerful on the dribble. He can get around players, and he can string a few passes together as well. Really good at playing, crazy through balls now and then, but he doesn't necessarily have to advance the ball just through his passing. Like I said, it's through the dribble as well. And that's how he sort of made a name for himself at Benfica, was just sort of being a powerhouse in the middle, really good at hustling around in the midfield, and a player that I really love because not only does he have sort of that explosiveness and that power, but he can also he can ball out a little bit. He can get around players in tight spaces. He's got a little bit of everything. He's not exactly, going to start hitting from distance with his strikes. He's not going to provide a ton of goals for you necessarily, but he does have a finish in him now and then, but it's not something to expect out of him, I wouldn't say.
Portuguese Edgar Davids. I like just the way you described that one. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay.
And Steve, we spoke about Renato Sanchez. I want to, before I ask Adrian about it, but when we talk about Andre Silva, right? Do you look at it, you, Steve, as a what could have been? Did we pull the plug on him way too from that Massara, from that Facciamo le cose formali era where Kessie is going to be probably the last one there? But how about Andre Silva? How about you, Steve? Do you think
just bad timing? Sorry,
bad timing.
Bad timing for him.
A lot of people are saying because he's been not a superstar, but he's grown. And what can you tell us about Andre Silva now? Where is he playing, in Germany, I believe?
Yeah, he's at RB Leipzig. He just joined them this season, but I agree with you. It was bad timing because that era that he came in that transfer window where Milan bought an entire new team, basically, right? Yeah. So it's and you're sort of changing hands of ownership and all sorts of chaos behind the scenes or something like that. At that time,
it was terrible timing for him. It was just nothing was organized from top to bottom. It was a complete disaster. We had not even a real person as an owner. And you purchase this young Portuguese rising star, and you plop him in the team, and you give him the number 9, our iconic Milan number 9, and you expect him to just be able to turn a trick here and there and score some goals.
Yeah,
he actually ended up scoring some goals, but just again, Serie A is such a tough league to get used to. Just when you're joining a well-established team, imagine when you're joining a disaster that Milan was, and it was a disaster. So the timing for him was just not not great. And also, that type of striker, from what I've seen of him, and I continue to watch him, when he was at Frankfurt and then now to RB Leipzig. I love pronouncing that name. I pronounce it wrong. But he's someone who needs service. And that's one thing that we didn't have at Milan is anybody to provide him service, right? So you look at Suso on the right-hand side. He only was able to use his left foot to take a shot. He did the same thing all the time. We had no one even remotely close enough to service someone like that and get him used to the league, right? And then you have to make financial decisions, and he was the one who's going to bring back the most money in terms of they ended up swapping, and they got a good player. We got Rebic back, who filled in the need that we wanted for Milan at that time. And now we watch from a distance and we think of what could have been.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those players where there was a ton of expectation around him. I'm sure you guys remember when you were looking into him when he was still at FC Porto. He was considered to be like the next sort of future star for the Portuguese national team after Ronaldo type of thing. So we had all these weighty, lofty expectations, basically. Then he goes to Milan, and then he goes to Sevilla, and then he goes to Eintracht Frankfurt. He was at 4 clubs in 4 years. He's not getting settled anywhere. Like, that's really difficult for a young player to sort of get any sort of momentum. So then you did see when he stayed at Eintracht Frankfurt for one more season, he had a fantastic season. I think he scored like close to 30 goals, like 28, 29, somewhere around there with Eintracht Frankfurt. And he earned that move to RB Leipzig, which they had a bit of a shit show beginning of their season as well, with their manager getting sacked, Jesse Marsch, and so I think it's going to be another season of adjustment for him. I wish that he would just stay at a club for a few seasons, because he seems like the kind of kid that needs that stability, which, that's totally normal to need that in order to succeed. And I think if he does do that, then we'll start seeing him getting back within the Portuguese national team. And who knows, maybe a move back to Italy at some point as well.
We shall see on the cheap, because we can afford.
Yes, yeah, of course.
I know you said you had maybe 30, 40 minutes to talk to us. I wanted to ask you something, because I just thought about this as a Portuguese cultural fan, national team or the league. How you, a Canadian, are able to watch on TV? Is it because it just came to mind? Like, is it easy? Yes, we all have IPTVs, but if a person, let's say, like my father at his age, if he was Portuguese, where would he be able to watch the Benficas or the Portos? Is it easily accessible here in Canada or around the world, for that matter?
Not really. No, man. I mean, I have Benfica TV through one of the, the people who carry the Serie A, Fubo or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have Benfica TV. So every single home match I can watch there, because I'm a Benfica supporter. But other than that, you got to get into the dark arts, trying to find some other alternative ways of watching things. But no, it's not easy. I think that like Goal TV or something like that carries it in Canada. But aside from that, it's difficult, all the avus and the avos out there that are trying to watch it. Back in the day, they had those those satellite dishes with the magic cards that unlocked RTP and that kind of thing. But these days, for me, it's just the dark arts on the internet to try and find these streams. It's not easy. It really isn't. It's difficult. And that was one of the weird things about growing up in Canada and supporting Benfica. It was like, I barely watched this team. It's hard to watch this team. I was able to because I'd go to work with my dad and they had satellite TV, so I could like find a way to watch them sometimes. But other than that, it's difficult, man. It's really, really difficult to watch any kind of calcio or football or whatever you want to call it on TV in Canada these days. And it's getting worse. They're like dividing it amongst DAZN, Fubo, that. It's just getting insane to watch now.
And people are expensive. And people are being pushed to go to IPTVs and all that stuff. But because I was thinking, we always laugh and disappoint at the beginning of every season that was it this year? I think it was Husney Steve that told us the day of the Serie A it started. They just announced a deal on YouTube. They just like how do we want to progress? The conversation goes back to like being back in the 90s, that there's still dinosaurs. And then I just came to mind the Portuguese league, like how we'll be able to watch, it. But I think Italy and Portugal both are in the same, maybe in the same kind of boat where marketing the league is something they need to fix, because it's not because EPL is the most marketable one means it's the best soccer, right? They just know how to market it well. And it's just sad because teams like Benfica, teams like Porto, other big teams, just skipping my mind right now. They're known teams, right? They're Champions League winners. It's just sad to hear. It really is. So keep going to the dark webs, as you were saying there. But no, thanks. Thanks for sharing. And Steve, can we keep you on? You just tell me when to stop.
I got another like 5-10 minutes. I'm good, man. Let's keep going.
Beautiful, Steve.
We would be crazy if we wouldn't ask you about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
And what you think will he be able to put his ego aside and be more of a mentor with the Portuguese national team, or will it be Cristiano?
I mean, I think that with Cristiano, his ego is always there, and I think that you can look to his ego as being a big reason as to why he's so successful, right? It's sort of a double-edged sword type of thing. But from what I hear and what we gather from, interviews and comments made by players he used to play with in the past, etc. Like, for example, there was a Sami Khedira interview recently where he spoke about how he saw two Ronaldos. He saw the Ronaldo at Real Madrid and the one at Juventus. And the one at Juventus was still very egotistical, very driven, but more of a team player and a leader and someone who is always there to give advice to the younger players. So I think that he has transitioned into that role for club and country. But, I mean, you even see it in his interviews still to this day. That ego is still always going to be there, still going to be about Cristiano. Thank God he finally broke that damn international scoring record because it was insane. I don't know if you saw any of Portugal's matches around that time, but he was shooting from 100 yards away.
Yeah, ridiculous.
The worst angles. Like, it was just brutal.
What would you say is the difference between Zlatan ego and Ronaldo ego?
I think that with Zlatan, I don't know how to explain it, but with Zlatan, it almost seems like he's playing a character and everyone's in on it type of thing. Whereas with Ronaldo, it seems more like he's this is not a character. This is who he is. And he's just, he's egotistical and can come across as an asshole sometimes. Whereas with Zlatan, it's almost like he's excused in a sense because, like I said, he's sort of playing a character in a way. I don't know. That's sort of how I've always seen it. And it seems more enjoyable to watch Zlatan as a character than as a human being that's that delusional,
Yeah.
But he's probably going to play until he's 40 in the shape that he's in. But, back in the day, it was very easy to hate. And I've gotten so much hate by always saying I've always found all around as an all around player, Ronaldo was better than Messi. And I go, can I have my own opinion? I just felt as an all around player, would it be, striking, passing, free kicks, all this? I always found them a bit better. But yes, the ego is not, it doesn't help, to love the player. But in the end, he's got every right to have that ego because Jesus Christ, it's abnormal. What is he now? 36?
30. He's good. 37 actually.
Holy shit!
1985. So 37 now.
Wow,
it's crazy.
How doing? So, Steve, any other questions? Portugal, we're gonna wish them the best of luck, obviously, for the World Cup.
They need it. We need to help our friends out at Evangelista Sport. They need Portugal to win.
Exactly. We need to all that extra Azzurri stuff that they're probably going to liquidate at this point.
That's
but
right.
Again, your videos, is it on a set schedule? Is it just, guys, go subscribe, go put the notifications on? Steve, do you get those notifications on? You go watch whenever you
I do.
Are you on a set schedule, Adrian, or just
kind of more? It's like a loose-ish. Like I have my Monday video that I do every week, and then from there it's sort of a hybrid schedule. Sometimes a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday. It depends. I try to shoot for like 3 videos minimum. Sometimes I get a 4th in there. Who knows? Sometimes you feel a little more motivated than other weeks. But I try to. Sometimes there's videos that take way longer. Like for example, a relatively quick one for me this week. Someone was asking about Darwin Nunez earlier. You'll be happy to know I'm publishing a video on him tomorrow. So that was really quick because I watch the player every week. It's something that I don't have to look up and research and blah, 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 blah. I know all about him, so I can just bang it out in one day type of thing. But other videos take 3-4 days, researching, interviewing, all sorts of stuff like that. So it depends on the week, really. Yeah.
All right. So guys, please check them out. Those interesting stuff. And last but not least, who's winning Serie A this year?
Ooh, that is, the romantic in me wants to see Napoli do it. The romantic in me does, just because, but I feel like
Romantic,
this
schmomantic.
there's no time for romance.
There's no romance.
But there's something about this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast, but there's something about this Milan side that is just like, every time you're like, okay, injury crisis, now they're going to suffer. Okay, this player's out that's been integral. Now they're going to suffer. This guy's out of form. Now they're going to suffer. They're still up there, man. Like, they just don't go away. And I don't know what's going on with Inter, but they keep on fumbling the bag recently. So I'm going to go in and say, I'm going to say Milan's going to do it this time. I like what I'm seeing from them. I'm a huge Olivier Giroud fan, so I want to see him lift that Scudetto.
All right. Good answer. And even Tim saying you like the one you made about the history of Milan. So, like Steve was saying, let's continue with this content, giving, eyes to would it be, Portuguese related soccer stuff. The more the merrier, right, Steve?
Guys, the more the merrier in terms of any type of football content in North America. We push on Calcio, but look, tonight we get to meet Adrian for the first time. I've been watching his videos. I know what he looks like. He has absolutely no idea who this fat guy is on Milan Weekly Podcast, who keeps on commenting. But this is how you make friendships and you exchange content. And maybe he wants to include me in one of his videos or Vinny in one of his videos. And that's how we share the footballing love, right? And I would love to learn about the more about the Portuguese league. And again, now if I have a question, I'm going to Adrian.
It's a couple of them. Sorry, I got 2 minutes of your time again. Canada winning the World Cup. Growing up a Canadian in Portugal, what do you do if Canada faces Portugal?
Hold on. Before Adrian, Vinny, they qualified. They didn't win the World Cup.
No, I know, but they
asked him about
Canada
winning the World Cup.
Oh, excuse me, qualifying. Excuse me, I got a little excited. By the way, guys, please don't hate me. To all our viewers and listeners, Italy lost because of me. Because if you didn't know, Adrian, Stevie knows I'm a mush. And when Canada was qualifying, I was like, look at us all Italo-Canadians that we're going to be so happy that Canada actually qualifies and Italy won't. So blame me, guys. Just if you're looking for the blame game, it's me. So thank you. I feel a lot better. Therapeutic for me. So yes, Adrian, how about you? How are you feeling on Sunday? Well, we all knew we were qualifying, but the officially making history.
It was amazing. It was surreal. You grow up watching Canada just being terrible at well, that's not true. So some of my first memories are seeing Canada win the Gold Cup. That's a good start.
Yep.
That's a good start as far as like my Canada soccer sort of journey. But then from there, it's 8-0 losses in Honduras or whatever. It's brutal. So to see them at this point where they are, it's not just like we were always looking ahead to 2026. Yes, we're going to see them in a World Cup. But now to qualify on your own merit for actually being a damn good team, like a good tactical team, like John Herdman has all these different tactics and formations that he plays effectively. There's so many players that have filled in for Alphonso Davies or Jonathan David. We have depth in a lot of positions. So it's weird. It's surreal to see Canada actually good at soccer. Like I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's just like,
it's nice to watch. It's really nice to watch. Yeah, it really is. And when they're talking about like guys like Jonathan David, like across Europe, and talking about these players and Canadians, and then to think Tomori could have been playing for this team, But it was exciting to watch. At least we do have one team to follow. Well,
there you go. Yeah, but there you go, man.
How about you, Steve? You remember all the good feeling on Sunday? Facebook.
Look,
Frank was
very
there
happy. Again, everybody's gonna take this the wrong way. Very happy, but I don't hide the fact that Canada's path to the World Cup was much easier than any of the other European teams, and that they caught a very very weak U.S. team, a very unstable mentally Mexican team, which doesn't happen very often. The rest of the teams, we saw Jamaica, guys, to be very honest with you, I know I got some heat because some people said that they were missing a lot of their team. But, guys, what we watched, Canada versus Jamaica was a Sunday League team. And it's no offense to Jamaica. I think they would, if they want to be honest with themselves, they would have said the same thing.
You look at the players they had available. They're missing so many, like Mikel Antonio, Bailey, all these kinds of guys. It wasn't the real Jamaica that we saw.
No, it wasn't
there.
the real Jamaica. And again, I heard them saying that They were probably the Canada was like the surprise of the qualification, and Jamaica was the disappointment, right? So
Yeah.
again, very happy. I'm really happy. I'm Canadian. Yes, I love Italy. I've grown up watching Italy. I'm happy. I want to see them in the World Cup. But again, I'm a very real person, and I like to say the truth. And I'm not gonna jump on this bandwagon and say, But for me, the thing that bothered me is during the actual presentation of the game, after the game, everybody was celebrating. Like, let the guy celebrate. But when you have someone in a prominent position on TV who's going to say something and talk for a federation and say, we qualified, that's a fantastic goal, it's an amazing thing that we're doing, now we got to look to the World Cup. And they said, okay, so we have one of our goals is to actually score a goal. It's like, that's the wrong messaging, right? Like, you're walking into this, like, just celebrate. You can't have a goal where the goal of the tournament for Canada is make it to this tournament with top teams and want to score a goal. Like, that was a typical Canadian comment, and that's what bothers me, because this team fought through the whole competition, to the whole qualifying. They want to go there. And when people in prominent positions on TV say things like that, it gives a bad image of what Canada just did. And that's something that it rubbed me the wrong way. I want to go to the tournament and I want them to do well. Obviously, winning the World Cup is not a realistic goal, but hey, trying to get out of the group is a realistic goal.
And away we go. Adrian, we've kept you for long enough. We'll talk very soon. We're looking forward to your video tomorrow. And good luck to Portugal.
Hey,
good luck
you.
to us, Canada. And we shall talk soon, guys. Once again, Rabona TV on YouTube. Go subscribe. He needs a couple more. 200. How many is right now? 200 and
220. 220. Yeah.
Beautiful. We're right up there. Don't worry. We're gonna catch up soon. But thanks a lot, Adrian. I appreciate the conversation, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you for having me on. I love this. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Ciao. What a great conversation. And this is what it's about when we get guests, right, Steve? We just talk, and I love it. But Steve, we're gonna go through just a couple of questions, and then obviously Jan prepared us our busted tweets. So going to Patreon, Kim says, ciao guys, keep up the good work. This one is about the Azzurri. Do you guys keep Mancini or move him on? Because I've seen a lot of people shit on him, and they were the same people that praised him after winning the Euros. I've seen that too. People, kind of Navarro might be coming over. Is the problem isn't just Mancini, right, Steve? Would you get rid of him?
No.
Or do you have to get rid of him?
There's no qualified name that's out there right now that can take his place, and it's not all on him. He can prepare the team. He can get them, tactically ready, but the players have to perform, and it's a combination of everything. And I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this. Like, everybody was, on Twitter, on social media, trying to find who they can blame. Donnarumma, Mancini, Immobile, just single person. But that's the generation that we live in now. We have to always find someone. Why can't we just say it's a collective problem? It's the thumbnail is exactly it. The thumbnail is there's bigger problems than what you guys are seeing.
It's not just changing a coach. Fabio saying, hey fellas, what a week. First Italy gets smacked out of the World Cup, and then Chris Rock, a comedian, gets smacked for making jokes. Life has its ups and downs. My question is, if you could smack one player on Milan for this season's performance, how would you choose and why? Congrats on our Canadian team making it in. Thank God the international break is almost over, but we still have to wait a week for Milan to play. All the best, and Forza Milan. Steve, if there would be a player in Milan to slap around for his performance of this year, who would it be?
Salchicha Maker or Macias? Anybody who plays the right wing, I just continuously slap them in a circle.
I definitely have to agree with that one. AC Luda, what are your thoughts on the effects of Italy's massive failure on Florenzi and Tonali? Should we expect them to be ultra motivated to win the Scudetto, or will this take the wind out of their sails and make them useless the rest of the way? As always, thanks for the content, and go Canada, go.
Whoa, what massive failure?
The saying is that, do you think the effect of Italy not qualifying, the effect it would have on Florenzi and Tonali, would they make these more ultra motivated to go win the Scudetto, or how do
They
you write
don't
this?
care. We care more than they do.
About what?
They're gonna go back to their club, and they're razor focused, man. This is not gonna stop them from or change their game when they go back to club level.
No, I'm saying, like, do you think mentally it's do you think they already turned the page and let's go home
It's a
and
turn. The
concentrate?
page was turned as soon as the final whistle blew. So it's over.
Hopefully.
There's nothing else. These guys are. We care more than they do. That's the honest truth. We're still talking about it 4 days later. They're probably not even talking about it. People in Italy are probably not even talking about it anymore.
No, I'm sure in Italy they're still talking about it. Gio saying, keep up the great work, guys. I'm a loss for words after the Azzurri being eliminated. Hopefully the revolution will begin with the dinosaurs in the FIGC. Shout out to Canada for making the World Cup. TJ Buchanan for right wing. So he's got us a right wing suggestion, Gio. And that Gio had a long day that day, but he was wearing that, was it 1982 jersey with the circle patch, and it was disappointing for all of us, guys. And on Twitter, what do we have on Twitter? Stevie, which position do you think needs to improve most as Milan head into the last 8 games of the league? I don't know if he's trying to, like, make you scream or make you.
No, it's the right wing. It's the right wing. It's an honest question.
It's an honest question. Chris saying, was this the last game the Azzurri for Immobile and Insigne? I think so.
I think for Insigne, yes. Maybe not Immobile. Maybe as some kind of substitute, but he's probably Mancini staying on, and I think I saw today that he is staying on, and he's going to turn the page and try something different. I don't see Immobile being at his number 9. Because
I think he's earned the right. He's earned the right for the consistency, and let me try something.
Well, he'll continue scoring at Lazio. He is going to have no.
No, I mean
choice.
Mancini. I mean, like he's earned the right to like let me try to change it. But at Lazio,
if he wants to stay and he doesn't want to, he's not. He hasn't hid from the fact that he's going to end up going back to club level, and he doesn't look old. He's earned the right to. He's a Euro champion. We need to, we're gonna fail. And again, does he have to take the heat? Yes, he has to take the heat, and he's taken the heat. I'm not understanding. People are saying that he's not taking it. He's taken the heat. He's not blamed one of the players. He's not blamed anybody, and he could have blamed a ton of players who didn't perform. I think he's done great with what he had to play with, and unfortunately, the Euro and condensed qualifying, this is the result that we got, and it's unfortunate, but it's something that we're gonna have to deal with. Turn the page and let's get back, and we'll see you in 2 years.
3K is asking, is Georginio done with the national team? No, I don't think so.
No.
Georginio's going to be there for a while. Stevie P, have you taken a look at them? I haven't taken a look at. So Jan, let's have a look. What he's given us this week for busted calcio tweets. So let's have a look at the first one. And here we have Fabiana Delle Valle. I'll read in Italian, I'll try to translate. In realtà le situazioni sono ben diverse. La Juve ha scelto di non rinnovare il contratto a Dybala senza presentare una nuova offerta. Il Milan ha scelto invece di non andare oltre una certa cifra, mettendo in conto di perderla a zero, ma ho comunque cercato di trattenerli. So she's saying the reality of the situation are very different between the Dybala and the Donnarumma. He's saying that Juve chose not to renew Dybala without even presenting an offer, and in Milan on the same thing is like they did offer, they didn't want to go over that number, so to her it's very, very different.
There's another girl who was sitting down at her makeup table, and no offense to women, but I'm just putting her in a scenario, and decided that she made up the whole this whole saga, and she knows the ins and outs of Juve, and like, signorina, please. It's exactly the same situation because it's a business. He wants more money. They don't want to pay. They're going to lose him for free. Same thing with Donnarumma. Same thing with Kessie. It's rinse and repeat. Let's go.
There we go. What else do we have? We have J Club. Italy with 0 Milan players. Italy with 1 Milan player. Seriously? So you're saying that because we had no Milan players, we won the Euro Cup, but because we had the one Milan player, we lost to North Macedonia. This is J Clubs. I'm assuming no Juventino. This is this makes a lot of sense. Wow, this is busted. Anyways,
This is pure stupidity. Like it's honestly the stupidity that comes out of Juve Twitter is by all means over the top. And I'm not always the protector of Milan Twitter, but after seeing things like this, I'm confident to say that Juve Twitter is very special.
we're special as well, Steve, but the Juve is a different type of special. What else do we have? Slide number 3. Canada has a brighter future in men's soccer than Italy, and I wish I was joking. I think he's doing it on purpose, Nick. Is he?
I don't know, but he ends up busted Calcio tweets because
It's the
that's
second
just
one.
absolutely not true. Does Canada have a bright future? I think yes. But you have to remember, Nick, that the surprise is over now. People are not going to be underestimating Canada anymore, and you have to.
And the fans will
Yeah.
expect qualifying for these tournaments every single
Yes,
time
of
and winning.
course.
Because now you gave us a little taste, right?
Of course, and we have to, as someone that I try to get involved in grassroots soccer, there's still work that needs to be done. This is a very particular generation and combination of generations that were able to play at a high level outside of Canada, and that's why they are where they are, and that's why their talent is where it is right now. Will that continue to? And I hope for the youth of Canada that it continues, but it's not all Canada. There's a huge aspect of their success that comes from overseas.
Exactly. And yeah, Donnarumma was a Milan player still officially when won the Euros, right? Because he left for PSG after the tournament. So that guy's a tweet even more busted. Slide number 4. The rest of the calcio community shit on Juventus, but when it comes to international time, they need us. They fucking need us. Never let them forgot it. Adamo, where do we need you in Juventus? Because you had more Italian players playing in Juventus? I don't. I'm trying to understand where he's coming from. 200 likes, Steve.
Yeah, 200 likes. And that's the sad part, because someone should tell Adamo that Juve have killed Italian soccer many more times than they have helped it. Adamo, if you go through Juve's transfer markets from the past and see how many young Italian talents they had the money to purchase, because no one else had the money to purchase, or the connections, we're going to call them connections, to purchase these young Italian talents, and then left them to rot at the Genoas and left them to rot at the Spezias and wherever the hell they were going to send them in Serie B and Serie C. That you're going to omit, though. That Juventus didn't do anything.
Verratti didn't want to pay. Juve didn't want to pay for Verratti. Don't you remember? I think they were.
Yeah, but that's another thing. That's not the root of it. There's so many young talents that Juve was able to purchase, and because they wanted them legitimately, but they weren't for the team, so we're gonna leave them out on loan. But then you forget them off on loan, and they never develop, and the talent is lost. Verratti was a talent. PSG wanted to pay, and not only Juve, all the other Italian teams didn't want to pay.
That's
either.
true. That's
so
true.
You can't blame him. You can't put that on him. But this whole Juventism, I have to invent a word that Juventus is the savior of calcio, and I don't get where it comes from. Like, you have your own problems there, Adamo. Like, the destruction. You've been involved in Calciopoli, and again, Milan's not safe from that either. But the people that are attached to Juve have done so much damage. The only reason, Adamo, you're relevant is because the Agnelli family has provided work for the entire country of Italy. And there's so many people that are indebted to this Agnelli family and attach themselves to Juventus that Juventus is relevant. Because, Adamo, Juventus, to be quite honest with you, is the second team of Torino, because Torino is the first team of Torino.
And you would have an argument if, all those years that you would look at Juventus' core, where you would have those 5, 6, 7 Italians starting. where are all these Italians now? So stop talking about that. We don't need you. If you're still talking about Chiellini and Bonucci, we don't need you. It's over those days. Maybe if you want to talk about 10 years ago, where most of the international team was part of Juve, that because there was only one team in Serie A during all those years. Because as Petritz is saying, Italian football is competitive when both Milan teams are competitive, just the way you keep on saying, Steve. Over and over again. So Adamo, yeah, kind of busted. And what do we have on slide number 5? Stu Cowan, the beautiful game. This is what turns off so many Canadian fans when watching soccer. So he was referring to a
video,
a dive, yeah. Stu Cowan.
Like,
this
Mr.
is a professional.
Cowan, the professional. Like, if you don't know the game, or you have not watched the game, or you are not a student of the game, I'm not saying you're not allowed to have an opinion. You are. But you concentrate on hockey where they allow each other to punch each other in the face on a nightly basis. You also have to see that in hockey, there is embellishment as well. But unfortunately, you forget to mention that. And you concentrate on the ugly things of the beautiful game instead of the positive things on the beautiful game. And that's why the sport itself, because of, people like myself and Vinny, who put ourselves out here and do content on the beautiful game, are able to promote it the proper way, having fun and talking about things that matter. When you choose to pick a very negative scenario, one out of the hundreds of thousands of positive ones. And again, the Costa Rica game wasn't a highlight reel special, but Mr. Cowan, if you don't know, it's really because you don't know. So just keep it at that.
This came off as a when you watch soccer, like they always throw themselves on the floor, like all the Italians, when and you're just looking at them.
Practice diving. Remember that? I'm surprised I don't have a practice diving there thing.
This is the kind of guy that from the Euro, us winning the Euro, he would just point out when Immobile went down and he was holding his face, and then when we scored, he came. He would only. He would only. He would be pointing out that kind of stuff. So yes, we know it's there, but we don't need you, Stu Cowan, to remind us of this kind of stuff. And if you did want to go find out about tough guys, why don't you go watch a bit of Gattuso? Why don't you just go watch what happened to Monsieur Giroud maybe 2-3 weeks ago when he slid?
Even better than that, he can watch on Prime TV the Diego Simeone story. He doesn't know who Diego Simeone is, so.
There we go.
Maybe that will educate him a bit.
On a side note, I read a long time ago, and I was always impressed that Beckenbauer in the semifinals against Italy, I think in 1972, played the extra time with a broken shoulder, this bone here. I don't remember what it's called, and
collarbone.
A collarbone, excuse me. And he was wrapped up. Steve, you imagine playing professional soccer, football, with your arm attached to this, Franz Beckenbauer. These are kind of so we might not have all these tough guys like in hockey, but just don't trash on the rotten apples that we do have in calcio. And I think that was it. That is all, folks. Steve, again, thank you to Adrian for joining us.
We need to pick a winner.
Oh, winner, chicken dinner, Steve. I'm gonna have to go with Adamo on this one.
I don't know. Show me some.
Nick. I think Nick. This one, because not even this one's bad because Donnarumma was. So not only is he wrong. Hold on. Let me guys help us out in the this one. Whatever. She was trying to.
No, I think Adamo wins. I think you're right. Huh? Yeah. It's one of those annoying tweets. It's a real annoying one.
And the 198 people that liked it, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Adamo.
Adamo, you're the winner. Adamo, you're the winner.
Oh man, guys,
you're gonna get angry about this one, Adamo.
And Steve just loves it, right?
Yep,
loves the heat. Other than that, Steve, Brioshki of the week. I would have to probably. Obviously, Canada qualifying for us to see this officially. And no, people don't talk to me about 1986. 86, we automatically qualified because it was in Mexico. We didn't really do much. But do you have any good feel-good stories Your brioche of the week.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Canada and qualifying for the World Cup. That's really what counts right now. It's a country that's developing in soccer. I'm pretty hard on them just because I'm not really convinced that they're doing the best that they can at the grassroots level. It's just my personal opinion. I think that they can do more. I think going from 1986 to 2022 is a very, very long time for a country like Canada, who can afford the facilities, who has the subscription numbers right around or probably even greater than hockey. It's been just too long for them not to. We've been doing something very wrong for them to wait that long to qualify.
And Quebec is still far behind the rest of Canada, I believe, from listening to your pods and like just the Fédération Soccer Quebec. It doesn't seem like it's up to the.
I think it's across the board. It's unfair to say one province more than others, but it's across the board. I think Canada is looking like it's shaping up to the right direction. It's just to do it for the right reasons.
And I don't even want to talk about indigestion because we both know what our indigestions are for this week.
Yes.
Gentlemen, next Monday, Bologna, Milan. I will see if I can make it. It's back to 2:45 now, right,
Yeah.
Steve? Because the time, guys, Patreon. I will try my best to see if I could get home for a quick therapy session. I know Fabio. He's been. It's 2 weeks now. He's probably shaking at home. But Steve, anything in closing before we let everybody go?
Guys, again, my closing statements for all Azzurri fans. Remember, we are 4-time World Cup champions, 2-time Euro champions. You can be disappointed, but don't let anybody shit on your Italy.
That's very true, because even though we were embarrassed by Milan for the last 10 years, we never shot. Uno si deve tifare le colore, non le giocatore. So la maglia azzurra is always going to be there. Yes, it fucking hurts. Yes, the stats hurt. But in the end, you want to blame him. You want to blame that. We failed, and that is it. That is all. And you know why it's bothering us a lot more than usual? Because we're not used to it. Because we grew up with Italia, and we just need to remember who we are. And if it takes 4 years, 2 years now for another Euro, if it takes the time it's going to take the time. But I'm not drinking, so that's why I'm trying to. There was too much drinking during the Italy. Now no more drinking in the week time. But thank you for those words, Stevie P. That is it. That is all, guys. Ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan.
See you next
Forza Azzurri. Forza Azzurri.